Look, imagine this. You buy a $500,000 house. You feel like you made it. You have your own place, your own space, your asset. And then, 5 years later, you check how much you actually paid. Not the price, the real money that left your bank account. And suddenly you realize you didn't buy a $500,000 house. You signed up to pay over $1 million for it. That's not a mistake. That's not a rare case. That is how the system is designed. And here's the problem. Most people don't even realize it's happening. My name is Jack, and I spend way too much time thinking about how money actually works behind the scenes. If you're someone who feels like you're doing everything right financially, working, earning, paying bills, but somehow still not getting ahead, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because what we're about to break down is one of the biggest financial traps hiding in plain sight. Here's the thing. We've all been told the same story. Buying a house is always a good investment, renting is throwing money away, you need to get on the property ladder as soon as possible. Sounds smart, sounds responsible, sounds safe. But that story leaves out the most important part, the math. Let's break it down. Let's say you buy a $500,000 house. You put 10% down, that's $50,000 up front. Now you take a mortgage for $450,000. Interest rate? Let's be realistic, around 6.5% in today's environment. Term? 30 years, standard. Your monthly payment? Around $2,800 to $3,000. Seems manageable, right? Now multiply that by 12 months. That's about $36,000 a year. Multiply that by 30 years. You're paying over $1,080,000 for a $500,000 house.
Here's what most people don't realize. In the first 5 to 10 years, you're barely paying off the house. You're mostly paying interest. Let me show you exactly what that means. Year 1 of your mortgage, you pay roughly $36,000. Out of that, only about $7,000 to $9,000 goes toward the actual loan. The rest, straight to the bank as interest. Now you might be thinking, yeah, but over time it gets better. Yes, it does, but not in the way you think. Because for the first 10 to 15 years, you are primarily servicing debt, not building equity. This is where it gets really interesting. Let's say after 7 years you decide to sell the house. Life happens, you move. You check your remaining loan balance and you realize you still owe around $400,000 plus, after paying over $200,000 already. That's when it hits people. The house didn't make you richer, it locked your money. And that's just the mortgage. We haven't even touched the hidden costs yet. Because owning a house isn't just the price, it's a system of continuous expenses. Property tax, in many areas 1 to 2% per year. On a $500,000 house, that's $5,000 to $10,000 annually. Over 30 years, another $150,000 to $300,000. Insurance, let's say $1,500 to $3,000 per year. That's another $45,000 to $90,000 over time. Maintenance, here's the rule nobody tells you. Expect 1 to 3% of the home value per year. That's $5,000 to $15,000 annually. Over 30 years, you're looking at $150,000 to $450,000.
Now stack everything together. Mortgage, $1,080,000. Taxes, $200,000. Maintenance, $300,000. Insurance, $60,000. Total real cost, around $1.6 million for a $500,000 house. Let that sink in. Now here's where people get defensive. Yeah, but the house goes up in value. Okay, let's talk about that. Historically, real estate grows at around 3 to 4% per year on average, sometimes more, sometimes less. But here's the catch. That growth is not pure profit because inflation exists. If inflation is 3% and your house grows 4%, your real gain is 1%, and that's before costs. Now factor in selling fees, 5 to 6%, closing costs, maintenance, and taxes. your actual return shrinks even more. Here's what most people don't realize. Your house is not primarily an investment. It's a consumption asset. You live in it. You use it. It costs money to maintain. It doesn't produce income. And this is where the real problem starts, because while your money is locked in the house, it's not working anywhere else. Let's run a simple comparison. Scenario A, you buy the $500,000 house. Scenario B, you rent for $2,000 a month and invest the difference. Let's say you invest just $1,000 a month at an average return of 8% annually. After 30 years, you end up with around $1.5 million, liquid, accessible, working for you. Now compare that to equity in your house, which is locked, illiquid, and expensive to access. This is where it gets really interesting, because the real difference is not just math, it's psychology. Owning a house makes people feel wealthy, but feeling wealthy is not the same as being wealthy. When people buy a house, they upgrade everything: furniture, appliances, lifestyle. This is called lifestyle inflation. Your fixed costs go up, your flexibility goes down, and suddenly you can't take risks anymore. You can't switch jobs easily. You can't start a business. You can't relocate because you're tied to the house. Now you might be thinking, so should I never buy a house? No, that's not the point. The point is understanding what it actually is. A house is not a shortcut to wealth. It's a financial commitment. And if you approach it like an investment, you're playing the game wrong. Here's what wealthy people do differently. They don't start with the house. They start with cash flow. They build income streams first. Because once your income exceeds your expenses, then the house becomes manageable, not the other way around. Most people do this: income, house, stress. Wealthy people do this: income, investments, freedom, house. That order changes everything. Here's a simple framework. Step 1, build an emergency fund, at least 6 months of expenses. Step 2, eliminate high-interest debt. Step 3, invest consistently. Step 4, increase income. Step 5, then consider buying a house, not before. Because if you buy too early, the house owns you instead of you owning the house. And here's the brutal truth. Most people don't buy houses based on math. They buy based on emotion, status, security, social pressure. This is what adults do. But the system doesn't reward emotions. It rewards strategy. So the real question is not, can you afford the monthly payment? The real question is, what is the total financial impact over 30 years? Because that's where the truth is. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You realize that a $500,000 house is not just a purchase, it's a long-term financial contract that shapes your entire life: where you work, how you spend, how much risk you can take, everything. So if you're going to do it consciously. Run the numbers, understand the trade-offs, and most importantly, make sure the house fits your financial strategy, not the other way around. Because at the end of the day, wealth is not about what you own, it's about what you control. And if your biggest asset is quietly draining your future, that's not wealth. That's just a very expensive illusion. Now, if this changed the way you think about money even a little bit, subscribe, because most financial advice out there is designed to make you feel good, not to make you rich.